Here is my thought process for the crack the code equation. So I labeled all of the statements A through E so it was easier to refer to them. Because of statements A, B, and C, I could determine that 4 would be in the third place because A states that 2 numbers are correct and 1 is misplaced. B says nothing is correct, and C says 1 is correct and 1 is placed right. So if we look at B and C, we have 5 and 6. We already know that 5 and 6 are not going to be part of the solution because they do not have anything correct. So that means we can go ahead and place 4 in the third spot. Now, because of statements A, D, and E, we can determine the digits 3 and 1 are correct. Because if we look at A, we see that 2 numbers are correct and 1 is misplaced. So if we cover up the 4, that means we are left with 2 and 3 being potential numbers. If we go to D, 2 are correct and 2 are misplaced. So we already know 4 is one of them, so it's between 0 and 1. And if we look here, 2 are correct, 1 is misplaced. We already know that this is correct, so we have 1 and 2. But if 2 is correct, so let's go ahead and say that 2 is the next number that we're looking for. If 2 is correct, that would be the other correct number, and it would be misplaced, meaning it would have to go here. But if we go back up to A and we cover this up, we have 1 misplaced. If we use 2, it would be put in the middle spot, which we already said down here wasn't a possibility. So therefore we can cross off 2. We know that 2 is no longer part of the solution. That means that we know for a fact that 3 is the other number. Now it's between 0 and 1 being the other number that we use. So if we go ahead and look at statements D and E, we know that 2 numbers are correct and 2 are misplaced. We already know that 4 is correct and misplaced. So it's between 0 and 1. If we come down here, we can see that we have 1 and 2 as options. But we've already determined that 2 cannot be part of the solution, meaning 1 has to be part of the solution and it's misplaced, so it has to go in the second column. Then we come back up here to 3 because we know that 3 is also part of the solution, but 3 is misplaced, and the only spot for 3 to go would be in the first column.